Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Aquaponics World. And last week I didn't do a water change out. I try to do one every week, but I'm gonna go ahead and do a water change out tonight. It's getting a little bit late, but had a lot of stuff I wanted to do this weekend. So anyway, this is Alice, and Alice is doing just fine. I got her out of a pot and cleaned her roots off. Took the soil off of her roots and just stuck her in there. I did tie her to this right here. There's like a little middle bar in the middle of the fish tank, and so I just tied her to that and kind of let her hang over this way, because when I just dropped her in, she ended up floating around in the middle of the water, and she was doing okay, but I kind of want to keep her out of the water. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and dump quarter of the water out the window using the pump, and then I'm going to put clean water back in, because that's, there's a lot of ammonia in the water, and on a weekly basis I try to do a little bit of a water change. So the first thing I'm going to do is just like I said, I'm just going to take this whatever you call it, service hose off the lid here, and I'm just going to take it out the window and close the window on it, and then I will turn off the out valve and open the service valve. And that way, what it does is, instead of it cycling the water in this way and out this way, it cycles it in this way and out that way. So it just runs the water out the window, and I'll get about a quarter of the water out of here, probably take it down to about here, something like that. And then I will get my hose and fill up these right here and put some water conditioner in there, and then I'll stick this service valve in these and close the in and open the service valve, and that way it'll suck the water in from the fish tank, in from this tank into the fish tank. So I'm just going to take a few minutes and drain out some of this water, and like I said, put the hose in here, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's about a quarter of the water that I've taken out so far. So now what I'll do is I will just close the service valve, and that's this little, there's a little red lever here. Just turn that, and then we'll open this out valve back up, and that'll pump the water into the fish tank. And now I'm just going to turn the hose on inside the fish tank, fill that up, and while I'm doing that, I'll just scrub off the sides here a little bit. And clean off the glass best that I can. I'll be right back. I used my fish net and scooped up a bunch of food that was left on the bottom of the glass, and last time I had gotten some new stuff, this API goldfish pellets, because they were out of my stuff that I like to get. I usually get this stuff, the Tetra Pro, and I'm not too sure which one's better. All I do know is that this stuff did not go into my filter at all. It just sat at the bottom, so I don't know, kind of made it pretty nasty, but I used a fish net and I scooped up as much of that as I could. And then I washed the glass off with my hand. I just kind of scrubbed across the sides, and then I scrubbed across the bottom with my hand. So it mixed it all up, and now it's all funky in there. But I did fill up the tank with some water. So I just need to add some water conditioner to that so that it's doesn't have the chlorine, because I'm getting that water straight out of the tap, and the tap water has a little bit of chlorine in it, and the fish don't like that. But that back there is, it says it's a 20-gallon tank, but I would say it's more like 10 or 15 gallons. This is a 50-gallon tank, so we'll see if, I think I took out about a quarter of the water, so that'd be like 10 gallons. So hopefully that tank back there will fill it up. Probably not. But the instructions on this say that you use 1 milliliter for 2 gallons, and 5 milliliters for 10 gallons. So I'm just going to use 5 milliliters, which is let's see, which is like the middle, 5 milliliters. So it's just a little tiny bit, and the first thing you want to do is shake it up good. And like I said, it's just a little tiny bit. It's not very much at all. You know, a few drops. Milliliters are pretty small. That is about 1 milliliter, so I need a little bit more than that. That is about 2.5 milliliters. Getting warmer. I think I overdid it on that one. That is, yeah, that's about 6 or 7 milliliters. But that's fine. We'll just put that in there. So again, you just add this to the water when you use tap water. I really do need to clean this tank out as well. It's getting kind of nasty because I leave some water sitting in here all the time, and it doesn't have a pump on it, so it gets kind of dingy. But no big deal. It's just water. But what we don't want is to add chlorine into the fish tank, and I can smell the chlorine in here. That's how strong the chlorine is in the tap water. God, this is really gross. Yeah, this tank's pretty gross, but I'm gonna go ahead and let this sit for 5 minutes, because that's what the instructions say, is let the water conditioner sit in there for 5 minutes before you add the water to the fish tank. So I'm gonna do that. I'll be right back. All right, I've waited about 5 minutes for this this water to get the chlorine out. And so now, like I said, I just take the service hose off of here, stick it into this reservoir tank. Good Lord. I usually have a system for this. Keep this hose in here. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this time. Let me think. How could I keep this? Usually I put it like in between the two tanks. I think that's my strategy here. I don't know. What am I gonna do here? I gotta figure out a way to keep this hose at the bottom and not have it come flying out of here. Oh well, I guess I'll just hold it. So anyway, like I said, we're just gonna close the end valve and then open the service valve. will suck the water from this tank and put it back into the fish tank. So I will go ahead and drain this water out of here and put it back into the fish tank, and hopefully that will fill the fish tank up, and I'll be right back. When you're doing this process of sucking the water out of the reserve tank and putting it back into the fish tank, one thing that you want to make sure of, well, two things you want to make sure of is that you're not sucking in any air. So you want to suck this until it's almost empty, and you don't want to overflow it. So you got to pay attention to that, and then when it gets low enough, you need to make sure you turn off the service valve and reopen the end valve. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Be right back. So as I figured, this was completely empty, and it didn't completely fill up the fish tank. So, you know, like I said, this is about a 10 gallon, this is about a 55 gallon. So, you know, this won't completely fill a quarter of the water up. Usually I use a couple of tanks, but that's about close enough for me. Just want to get it up to the top. You don't want to let it run out of water, obviously. So that's done. The next thing I wanted to show you guys is that I went down to the store and I got another Monstera. So the monster plant that I lost in beginning of spring this year, I took it outside the beginning of spring, and we had one last cold snap that just killed it. So I took it outside a little too early, lost it. So I got another one. Just picked one up at Home Depot or Lowe's, I can't remember which one, but you know, 30 bucks for this little Monstera plant. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out of this pot, this really fancy pot they sold me, probably worth 30 bucks just for the pot, but I don't need it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out of this pot, and I'm going to get rid of all of this soil, and then I'm going to take the roots and I'm going to put it into the water and let it drink some of this natural fertilizer that my fish tank gives off. So let me see if I can try to do that while you guys are watching a little bit. I'm just gonna take the take the pot and squeeze it a little bit on both sides, on all the sides, and just kind of give it a little loosening up so that it'll come out of there a little easier. And then I will just take it and again squeeze the bottom of the pot a little bit, and you can see it's already growing roots through the pot, so that's not good. And that's that causes the roots to be bound up, and it's not good for the plant to be stuck in a little tiny pot. So if you ever do buy a potted plant, always remember you do need to transplant it at least. Get it out of this little pot and into a bigger pot, or out of the little pot and outdoors into some soil. Or you can take it and put it into a hydroponics system, or take it and put it into a fish tank. So that's what I'm going to be doing, is taking it out and putting it into a fish tank. Try to get it out of here without ruining too many of these roots. These are what you'd call like tap roots. Those are the ones that actually supply the plant with the water and stuff. And so I don't want to damage these too much, but this is on Lowe's for letting it grow this long in a plant pot that small. So now I'm just going to take it and kind of wiggle it around and try to get off as much of this dirt as I can, because I don't want soil in my fish tank. I don't know what kind of soil this is, some weird stuff. It's like cocoa or something. It's not like any soil I've ever felt before. It's weird. But don't want it Don't want it in my fish tank. I definitely don't want to be putting fertilizer into my fish tank or anything like that. And so yeah, this is what I did with this this plant over here. Was I bought it in a pot, took it out of the pot, cleaned the soil off, and I did that a couple of weeks ago, and it seems to be doing just fine. So, you know, I was trying to do it in a separate container because I didn't want to put lights on the fish tank and grow algae, but I was thinking about it, and really the algae will just consume some of the ammonia that the fish don't want in their fish tanks. So it's not a bad idea to have algae or anything else in there absorbing that ammonia that the fish don't want. So I may get a grow light on the top of this, I'm not too sure. I already have the window right there, so it will be getting some sunlight. It was growing indoors in Lowe's, so I'm sure it'll do just fine indoors. The other Monstera I had was doing good for a couple of years until I took it outside and it got a cold snap. So yeah, I'm just trying not to rip off the roots. It's kind of like cleaning gum out of hair, you know. It's not an easy task, but it is doable. You definitely do not want to rip all the roots off. You want to save as many of those roots as you can, and at the same time not be putting a bunch of dirt into your fish tank. So yeah, I'll just keep doing this and working on this until I get it as bare root as I can, and I may run it through the water in the sink. Just rinse it off a little bit, and then I will be right back. All right, actually that's about good enough for me. A little bit of dirt in there won't matter too much. Now the trick is to have the roots in the water, and I do have some bubblers in the water already because the fish like the bubblers too. But you want the roots in the water and the plant outside the water. So that's the tricky part right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna basically use a string and tie it to this this middle bar here to try to kind of get it to not fall in the water. But it'll end up something like that. And we'll see how it does. So I will use some of this string that I've got. Just got a little bit of extra string from before and get to work on that. And probably next week I'll start some baby squashes. I know I've been talking about getting some seeds started here for a while, but I just wanted to do my weekly maintenance, which I didn't do last week, and I thought, what the heck, I better get another Monstera because I missed my Monstera. Anyways, you guys have a great day. Thanks for following. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and subscribe. And I'll have more content just about every week. Been doing it for about a year now, and I'm not planning on stopping till I get some food growing out of this thing. All right, you guys have a great day.